Yeah, I've just been staying with them. I've been being smart and being safe. You know what I mean? But it's been good to see them and spend some time with them.
Well, I'm so glad everything is well. We only got limited time, and I'm just gonna ask you a couple questions. And
Perfect.
before we start, I'm just gonna uh, do a little of myself, which is like 2 words. Then I'm just gonna let you talk
Perfect. That sounds good.
because I want people to know who you are and what you do. Most importantly, why you do what you do it. So if you're ready,
Awesome.
I'm gonna go right into it.
Perfect. Let's do it.
Perfect. Let's do it. Hi, guys. My name is Khan. I'm just a normal person, but I do love basketball. And today's guest is the NBA skills coach plus the CEO. Still working on my English, Drew. CEO, Pure Sweat app, puresweatbasketball.com. And if you don't know Drew Hanlen, I'm just going to let him talk and see what he does. Hey, Drew, how are you today?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having me on. I know that the world is in a crazy place right now, but the one really good thing that's come out of it is I think that so many people have really started to connect with other people. We're looking for that social interaction that we should have been looking for beforehand, but it's also given us a chance to really kind of take a step back from the everyday busyness and to really kind of decide kind of what we want to do and who we want to be moving forward. And I think a lot of people have realized that they miss a game of basketball, which is why we're here sitting here talking. But it's given us a chance to kind of find that true love that we had when we were a little kid that made us start either watching or playing the game of basketball. And it's led so many coaches like ourselves to connect and just share the game of basketball that.
I love that. You cut off, but we got the message, man. I mean, as you can see, my 16 months old daughter's basketball hoop right here. She is now learned how to dunk. I just thought that she could just start learning dunking, and then she's just gonna, learn how to shoot later. I don't know. So, who is Drew Hanlen, and what does he do? Most importantly, why do you do what you do?
Yeah, so I mean, I think that answer has evolved over the years. I think that I was a basketball fan and player like so many others. I started training basketball players around St. Louis, which is my city that I was raised in, when I was 17 years old. I wrote my first basketball training book when I was 17 years old, and one of the first players I ever with was Bradley Beal. And as Bradley Beal started, really seeing his career take off, my career took off alongside it. Started working out a lot of other top high school and college prospects. And then started working with David Lee, who was my first ever NBA client when I was still in college. So I was working out NBA players when I was in college. And, word of mouth has spread. And I've been able to, work with a lot of players. I worked with Jason Tatum and Joel Embiid and Zach LaVine and Brad Beal already mentioned, Kelly Oubre. I've worked with so many guys now, but, I'm fortunate to just be their skills coach in the off season as far as putting together their workout plans. And then during the season, I do all their consulting. So I break down all their film. I look at all their analytics and try to help them make tweaks and adjustments so that they can improve throughout the season.
Drew, do you sleep at all?
Not much. It was funny when this whole thing went down. I had never not been on the road. I was so used to traveling client to client. And so, everybody was like, wow, you're finally going to get a chance to rest. And here I am. I got my new podcast studio. I've got, a whiteboard in the background. It's just, I turned one of my guest rooms into basically a content creation platform where I could just help, as many coaches and players and trainers as I could. But no, I mean, it's one of those things I wake up and I'm so passionate about helping as many people as I can out that it's one of those things where I do sacrifice sleep. And, I try to get more and more sleep, as I know that there's countless amount of studies that say that if you don't sleep, you don't live a very high quality of life later in life. So, I try to take that into account. But no, I mean, my passion wakes me up and it's something that keeps me going throughout the day.
That's pretty cool. I was just reading an article about you that you were talking about stretching now. You said, I have now started stretching. I'm now understanding the importance of stretching and doing the workout and doing the right things for your health. especially the chocolate milk just got me into it. What do you think about chocolate milk? Like I just saw something that says chocolate milk is a triple threat for recovery. What is your thought about it?
Yeah, I'll tell you, the whole recovery process to me is something that I definitely overlooked when I was a player. You know, when I was a player, both my parents really pushed me. My mom was always rebounding for me, driving me to the gym, and was there for me. You know, during that, and then my dad was the one that taught me how to, lift weights, and also was the one encouraged me to stretch. And as so many other players, I was too cool to do some of the kind of recovery stuff. You know what I mean? I was working hard. I was doing everything, but I thought man, I'm good enough without sleep. I'm good enough without stretching. I'm good enough without whatever. And I've had 4 knee surgeries, and so looking back, I was like, man, I would have taken some more of my parents' advice as far as what foods to eat after workout, what stretches to do after workout, how to get to the gym early. And while I was so eager to get out on the basketball court, maybe spend 10 minutes rolling out or doing active kind of, stretching so that I could be ready to work out instead of going 0 to 100 right away, which wasn't great on my body. So what I would tell everyone out there that's a player that, is now trying to get the peak performance is, can you get by without it? Yes. But can you be better with it? Yes.
Never.
And so that's the biggest thing is, doing whatever makes your body feel well. For some people that means ice tub. For some people that means a hot tub. For some people that means stretching. For some people that means foam rolling. Everybody's body is different. You got to understand and learn to kind of trust what your body's telling it. And then the more you can kind of take care of it, the better it's going to be for you when you need to use it.
That's it. Because like when I was watching Unseen Hours, which I'm your one of your most fan of watching Unseen Hours, because I love watching the process more than the target. That you do get your knee treatment at the gym. Like instead of taking a break, you do eat at the gym. You do get your knee treatment at the gym. You're at the gym. Like you start
Yeah.
at 6 a.m., 5:30 a.m. lifting, and then play. I mean, working out with the players and just watching them, just telling them, just knowing who they are, which is gonna lead me the other question. Coach, you said if you're a trainer getting in the gym, the first thing, if you're asking to a player, hey, how are you? How was your day? That means you are not a good trainer. If you don't know about your player's life, if you don't know what's going on in their life, then you need to work on your skills. What is that? What do you mean by that? Like knowing people.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's more so about if you're just trying to small talk with a player, they're going to see past that. So if they show up and you're like, hey, how are you doing? And they're like, good. And then it stops at that. And then it's like, all right, let's get into the workout. It means you don't have a relationship with them. It means you don't connect on kind of a person to person level instead of just a player to coach level. And so I think it's so important to know and care about everything that's going on in that player's life. You do need to ask them how their day is going. You do need to ask them how their life's going, but then also you have to care about what the response is. I think that's where a lot of coaches struggle is they maybe say, hey, how's your day going? And they say, great. And they're like, awesome, let's get after it. Instead of, hey, how's your day going? And they're like, it's going well. Like, oh, what do you got planned today? What do you got going on? How is so-and-so? Knowing kind of the different aspects of their life, because if you truly care about a person, you realize that their game is just a small part of who they are. And if you can help impact them in their lives, then their game is going to improve as well. But if you can't improve everything else in their life, then maybe you do them a little bit of a service by improving their basketball skills. But, I'm one of those big, kind of big picture guys where I'm constantly looking at how can I improve somebody's life and not just their game.
I think that's the most important key to be a trainer. Did you experience any of the players told you, hey man, my day was horrible, but he knows that he still needs to work out at the gym. How do you what is your attitude to him, and how do you actually change him to a player that
Yeah,
work
I've
out?
I've had players come in the gym and they've pulled me aside and we went into a locker room to talk one-on-one, and they've just bawled their eyes out and cried on my shoulder. We're talking about NBA guys that, everybody knows who they are, but they don't realize they're going through real life, stresses and struggles, whether it's they're dealing with, a family issue, whether they're dealing with a money issue. A lot of these guys, are, they're millionaires, but that means more people are asking for things, and that creates drama that, us non, really, really wealthy people don't have to deal with. And so what I would say is, everybody has their internal struggles and everybody has their internal battles. And the more as coaches we can, or the more as people in general, you don't even have to be a coach to help somebody out in their life, but the more that you can, help that person kind of achieve that inner peace, where they're really calm inside, the more likely it's going to be that you can help them in life, which is going to help you in basketball as well.
I think the trainers who come to you to be a trainer, to take their career to next level, um, learn more about psychology of the game than the technique of the game. Because you can improve the technique of the game, but when it comes to psychology and talking to your players and keeping them, I mean, I think the right word would be happy, like pumped every single time. Because when the players pumped, and you get the results. When they're not happy, I mean, if you're playing basketball, let's say, if you're not happy, you're thinking something else, you're not going to be able to make the shots. But I think trainer is the most important key between the players and then being happy.
No, I agree with you 100%. I think that that's something that a lot of young basketball coaches struggle with, is they just see a move on YouTube or Instagram and they just go do the move. And it's one, if you don't know why you're doing the move, when you're going to do the move, how it's going to play out in a game, then you're not going to help the player. The player might be able to do it, but they're not going to do it because they don't know all the ins and outs of it. The second thing is, if you can't help them out with the life aspect, that's going to just bring down their basketball game. It's like trying to run a sprint with a big weight on your back. You're going to slow down. It doesn't matter how great of a runner you are. If you've got a big weight on your back, it's going to be not your best effort. And so what you have to do is you have to remove those extra kind of weights. You have to remove those hurdles in their life that are getting in their way. And I always say, a lot of times when players are going through slumps, and it's not because they all of a sudden forget how to play basketball. It's because life is hitting them with with some stuff that's way more important than basketball, and that's bringing them down.
That's it. Coach, what a lot of the players, everybody's at home right now. They should be home at least. Now, I mean, of course, some of them have a garage, some of them have places to play basketball, but some of them are not. I'm like, you're texting us every single night. I've been watching your videos, what to do at home, how to improve your shot, and some of them might have high ceiling, some of them might have not. What do you think that they should do at home, first of all, to keep improving their game, either shooting, ball handling? Would you please talk about like
so I basically, the biggest thing is, I think that players need to continue to do the exact program that they would do if they were in the gym. Now, if they don't have access to a hoop, they can't get up game shots and they can't get up, finishes, because it's hard to work on finishing or game shots without, a rim. But if you can still work on triple threat, you can still work on your jabs, you can still work on your shot fakes, you can still work on your rip throughs, you can still work on your footwork, you can still work on your step backs, you can still work on your pullbacks, you can still work on change of direction, you can still work on your handles, you can still work on, all the different ins and outs of a ball screen. You can also watch films, so you can learn about all the things that you're working on. So I would say watch film, continue to work on the exact same game skills that you would do. And the third thing is, use this time to really kind of step back and analyze what you should be working on, so that you can kind of have an improved process moving forward once we get past, kind of this situation.
By the way, guys, if you, I think you've just launched a at-home workout, right, Coach?
Yeah, so it's going to be, we just actually pushed it to the store, but it's once it's approved by Apple and Google, it'll be online. So we're hoping anytime this week. We're crossing our fingers. Where every day we wake up and I refresh the app and see if the new update's on there. But sometime later this week, the new at-home program. I filmed over 100 game skills that they can do at home. I didn't do anything with shooting, so nothing. I had a short ceiling, and just to make sure that I could be in the same kind of confined space that they're in. So no, you can always get better. It doesn't matter if you have much space or very little space. You can always get better.
That's it. By the way, if you download the Pure Sweat Basketball app, and once the virus is gone, believe me, you can just improve yourself with no, like, you don't have to have anyone with you. You don't have to have anything except the basketball and the rim. Guys, I'm 26 years old. I've been using Pure Sweat since I don't know. It's been like I think 7 months that I've been using your app just to do my ball handling. Most importantly, because I'm 5'11" as you are. I'm just trying to improve. I'm just trying to do everything like something every single day. And your app
No,
is
that's awesome.
a lot. Um, Coach, I know that we have limited time. What would your last advice be for the trainers, for the players to do in these days? Um, um, or when the virus is gone, what would your advice would be to the trainers who would like to be trainer just like you are? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
so I'll go through three different kind of things. So for players, what you need to do is ask yourself how you're going to separate yourself from every other player. Every player wants to play college basketball. Every player wants to play professional basketball. What are you doing to separate yourself from all those other players? When I was in sixth grade, I started shooting 500 shots a day. When I was in high school, I was shooting 1,000 shots every morning before school, and then I would work out again after school. I gave up sweets when I was 12 years old. No sweets until I was done playing college basketball at 22. So for 10 years, no sweets, no sugar, no ice cream, no candy.
wait,
So again,
12 years old to 22, no sweets?
so the big thing is you have to ask yourself, what are you doing to separate yourself? For coaches, you have to ask yourself, are you one of those people that is going to basically blame that you don't have the good players, or are you going to help create good players? So instead of, complaining during the season, well, we can't beat this zone defense because none of my guys know how to shoot. Teach them how to shoot. So my biggest thing for the coaches is how do you develop the players that you want to coach, and how do you turn those players into the leaders that you want to be, to lead your team? So basically, how do you help create what you want to coach? And for trainers and skills coaches, your only job should be to help players get to where they want to go. And so what you have to do is you have to be like a GPS. Basically, the player tells you where they want to go, and it's your job to kind of route them there step by step. You notice that, like, if I'm in New York and I'm trying to get to California, the GPS doesn't say, all right, good luck, go. What the GPS does is it says, hey, the first step is we need to make a right on this street. Then we make a left on this street. Then we get on the highway. Then we get off the highway. Then we take this street, and then we take this. It gives you a step-by-step process. And that's exactly what skills coaches and trainers should do, is we should give them a step-by-step process to get them to where they want to go, or beyond where they want to go, if we know that they have, even more potential than they believe in.
Blowing my mind. That's awesome. I mean, how you talk and how you actually do the message, it's just awesome. Last question, Coach, and then I'm gonna let you go because I know that you got a busy guy. You have a podcast tomorrow, by the way. I just saw it. I'm gonna listen to that too. Would you have you ever been in Europe before? Like, I'm from Turkey. Have you ever been in Turkey before?
I've never been to Turkey. I've been all over Europe, though. I've done stuff, all throughout the UK. I've done stuff in Spain. I've done stuff literally all over in Italy. I've done stuff in Greece. I've done stuff all over the place, but I've never been to Turkey. Not yet.
You need to be. Basketball is huge, and just for the pro players that now are watching, can anybody reach out to you and say, "Hey, Drew, hey, Coach, I would like to be in the United States and train with you"? Can they do that?
Yeah, so we have some programs. Obviously, everything's on hold right now, but we have some programs that we've set up. We've had a lot of players internationally come over and train alongside my NBA guys with me. But the best way to do it is just reaching out to me via social media. I try to get back to as many as I can. I know I get hundreds of messages a day, but I try to do my best. As I've responded to a bunch of your messages. And
So excited.
it's one of those things where the first step is, trying to do the at-home workouts and buy yourself workouts with the app. If you want the next level, would be come over, visit me, or come to a camp or clinic or an event that I'm running. But yeah, they can just reach out to me via social media, and I'll do my best to get back to them and help them as much as I can.
That's awesome, Coach. Before we close the interview, please keep doing the unseen hours.
We will for sure.
Yeah, I think the last one you did was like 2018. Is that right? If I'm not wrong.
We did, yeah. We did some last summer. We did some with overtime, but there were some that weren't ever released. So we're doing them on our own again next summer. So uh, Forrest and my man Sam Lamone will be back creating as always.
Because I was just watching Chris Paul was in Unseen Hours too. I didn't.
Yep.
Chris Paul was in there too, so it just Well, Coach, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for accepting my interview, accepting my questions, and thank you so much for answering me back. And I think that we brought lots of value today. Sorry about my English. I'm still a little excited when I get
No,
excited.
you're doing great. You're doing a lot better than if I was trying to speak your language. I'll tell you that much.
Thank you, man. Yeah, I came in here in 2013, started as a dishwasher, and couldn't speak anything. Then just built my way up to like busing, foot running, serving. Then I got back to my passion, which is basketball. Now I'm training myself. At the same time, I'm looking for some options to be a trainer as well. That's why being able to talk to you is one of the most key. And there's a lots of things happening right now. I've never imagined I would be able to talk in English with someone who's been training the NBA trainer. So for me, it's a huge thing too. Please
Awesome.
be safe. Man, we're gonna get through this all together, and I would love to see you guys as soon as possible on the court. I would love to watch you. I would love to get more information from you, and I'm sure the other players would do too. And good luck with everything.
Thank you. You as well. Stay safe.
Thank you, man. Have a great day.
All right. I'll see you, my man.